What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, Duke got a 5-star. He looks like a small forward slash shooting guard in Paolo Banchero. He's from the Seattle, Washington area. He's the number 3 overall player coming into college next year. So it's good to have him on the team. They had another top 10 player in AJ Griffin as well coming in next year. And Banchero says he's looking to try to get other guys involved, so that's going to be cool to see who else he can get for him. And yes, Melvin Ingram, the other defensive end for the LA Chargers. Like I've been saying, we should trade him so we don't have to deal with any of this stuff coming up about contract stuff. And then of course, early last week he decided to hold out, not practice anymore because he was unhappy with his contract. But apparently he did return back to practice because they restructured his deal, so he's guaranteed the $16 million this year automatically, no matter what. So it doesn't have to have a certain number of tackles or sacks or whatever, them making the playoffs or any dumb things like that. But it's going to be another problem again, because I believe he's on the contracts for another year. So I think it's just an opportunity for the Chargers to be able to trade him finally and get something younger or more draft picks. That's just the way I see it, just depending how the season's going halfway through. If there is a season, obviously, but as of right now, it looks like there might be, which is pretty crazy. And then star defensive tackle for USC, who was going to be the star defensive tackle this year, junior Tufele. So he has decided to opt out for this year and go into the NFL draft for this next season coming up. Sucks, we won't be able to see him play his final year there, but good luck to him. He's looking to be a first-round draft pick, so I'm pretty sure that's why he's going. So congrats and good luck to you, Jay. And then Grayson Allen, his run at the NBA bubble did come to an end. His team did not make the playoffs, but he showed what he can do when he gets 4 minutes, scoring 17 plus points, averaging 40% from three-point line as well. I mean, the guy, he's a great asset. He's going to be a good one. Whether he stays with Memphis all of next year or gets traded to a better team, comes off the bench for a playoff team, I think the sky's the limit for him. And it's great to see one of my favorite Duke players getting the love he deserves. And then LeBron James, he's been in the league 17 years, I believe, but this is the first time he ever won an assist title, which means he averaged the most assists throughout the whole entire NBA season. It's pretty cool. You think he would have already won it, but apparently he hasn't, so congrats to him. And then Austin Jackson, the pretty talented offensive lineman at the Dolphins, drafted out of USC this last year. They're liking what he can show, and it looks like he might be getting that starting position, which is pretty cool. So good thing he's showing out over there, and hopefully he'll be able to be starting in no time for that Miami Dolphins team. And then other tackle news for the Chargers, Trey Pipkins, a guy they drafted in the 3rd round a few years ago. I never understood why, but because he came from a smaller school, I never heard of him, but he had so much upside apparently, and never played his first couple years. And then this year, when they were looking for him to be the main guy at that left tackle spot, he ends up coming out with a knee brace during practice, and he's had a setback apparently, so who knows how long that's going to be. I knew it was a mistake from the start. They should try to get whatever they can for him, like I always say. And yeah, we'll see how that goes, but it sucks very much. So for game 2 of the Lakers and Portland series, the Lakers did get the W, 111-88, I believe. Pretty big blowout. I think that was the game where I think it was after the 3rd quarter or sometime in between then, Damian Lillard, the star for Portland, ended up dislocating one of his fingers, and they were all kind of mixing and matching their lineups, and pretty sure that's why it ended up being a blowout. But we'll see how they did in game 3 later in this video. But yeah, it's great to see Lakers get that big W. They definitely needed it after a pretty stunning upset in game 1 against Portland. So hopefully they'll be able to turn around on my birthday for the game 3 and later in this video. But yeah, it's great to see Lakers show up, especially Anthony Davis, LeBron James as well. Definitely looks like they're picking it up, and it doesn't really matter if the other Laker guys are struggling. If those guys average 60 to 70 points between themselves, then they could beat any team, in my opinion. But it could just me being a Laker fan, or just me knowing what I know about basketball, which is very little. And then also a guy who's a really talented cornerback from high school coming into college, I believe in 2022. So he's going to be a junior in high school, I believe, but he's definitely one of the highly ranked, talented guys, especially in Southern California, Damani Jackson. And apparently he's been trying to go to the same school as Corey Foreman, who goes to a school out close by me in Corona Centennial, and they want to team up together in college, which is really great for the team that gets selected by them. And USC is still trying really hard to get Corey Foreman, but who knows what his decision is going to be like coming up pretty soon. And depending where he chooses, I guess, is where Damani Jackson will go, but we'll see. Hopefully USC could grab two very talented guys like that on their team, even with a coach like Clay Helton. But it is USC and they're on the up and coming, so hopefully it'll be enough. And then Mike Williams, once again, another player for the Chargers that I've been slowly trying to get rid of just because I haven't really been happy with him, especially when he was a top 7 overall pick and really hasn't lived up to being that top wide receiver that you expect those guys to be. And he's been getting slowly better and better, but his first 2 years were kind of derailed because of injuries. And once again, during practice here, he's hurt his shoulder, I believe it is. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully it's nothing, for his sake, so I don't trade him anymore, but excuse me, we'll see. And yes, I've kind of been forcing myself to watch Boston Celtics games this playoffs just because obviously I love Jason Tatum coming out of Duke, but my brother-in-law, stepbrother, or whatever you want to call him, he's a Celtics fan as well. So yeah, I've been having to deal with that, but I enjoy watching Jason Tatum. He's becoming the player I always thought he could be, especially in the NBA, and definitely happy he got that double-double in Game 4 to be able to sweep Philadelphia. Yes, Boston did have an easier advantage because all their guys have been basically healthy so far, and Philadelphia is missing at least one of their better players, in my opinion. And yeah, you just saw the writing on the wall, but congrats to Tatum, made it to the second round. You'll most likely are going to play Toronto, the defending champs, who look pretty darn good even without Kawhi Leonard, but we'll see how that goes for him, and yeah, it should be very interesting. And then the NCAA is going to give an extra year of eligibility for fall sports players or athletes. So because they had to cancel this whole fall season, they're going to give them a whole another year, which is pretty crazy, but it's good for those football players or even basketball players as well. A lot of different teams, if you knew you weren't going to get a shot, and then now you have an extra year to be able to get to the professionals while still in college. So it could be beneficial, especially for football. You could add so many other guys to your team as well, hopefully, with the scholarships availability, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll be pretty good for USC and Duke as well in basketball. And then also what weirdly came out was the AP poll, the Associated Press poll, which is the type of poll everybody looks at to see who's ranked highly in the college football. And as of right now, USC was ranked number 17 overall, which is pretty crazy because they canceled their season, but yet they were still ranked 17, which I didn't really understand, but you got to take it the way you can get, I guess, and we'll see how that goes. If they're still will be involved in that poll, or even the college football playoff poll as well that ESPN does, but definitely strange times for freaking college football. Alrighty, to finish off this video, so yes, I did mention that we get to Game 3 of the Lakers-Portland series that did happen on my birthday this last Saturday, which was great. Love to see everybody there, and definitely helped the Lakers out in this one because they did get the victory. It came a lot closer throughout like the third and fourth quarter, but luckily both LeBron and AD turned it up like I said they had to, and as long as they do, then the Lakers should win, and they did pretty comfortably. But yeah, it was just great to see, great to have all that energy with my family again. It's just been a while, and especially with a sporting event too. Been a while we had a positive one, so it's great to see, great to enjoy. And yeah, LeBron went off. He had a lot of points, over 30 points again, and Anthony Davis as well. A lot of the guys stepped up. Still, Danny Green, I don't know where he's shooting from, but everything's short or just bricks. He's building a house over there like Shaq. But yeah, it's been tough to see for him. Not as tough because he's from North Carolina, so I don't mind him struggling, but I do mind that he's struggling on my team. And hopefully he steps it up. I mean, Lakers have been pretty awesome on defense so far in the playoffs. I think that's what a lot of people are getting away from. That's why they haven't been scoring these astronomical numbers as a lot of these other teams. But their defense is really awesome, which is great. That's why you got Frank Vogel, in my opinion, because he had great defenses with those Indiana Pacers teams in the East a couple years back. But to head on to some USC football news in the NFL. So, ex-linebacker Malcolm Smith, who was pretty much recently with the 49ers, I believe, and he had a stint with the Chargers as well. He has signed a one-year deal with the Cleveland Browns. We'll see if he makes it. I know they did let go of a recent defensive end, Porter Gustin, out of USC a couple months back, but hopefully they can get it to keep one other USC guy on their roster. And then Amon Marshall, the ex-cornerback from USC and who's with the Baltimore Ravens right now, he did suffer an injury, and it looks like he might be out for the season, which sucks. Showing a lot of promise there, and definitely was going to have a lot of room now with Earl Thomas being released the other day. But yeah, hopefully he can make a speedy recovery and be back bigger and better next year. Yeah, Biggie Marshall. Let's get him next year, Biggie Marshall. And then yeah, so crazy, a day after my birthday, the 23rd, on Sunday, yesterday is obviously Kobe Bryant's birthday, so a lot of appreciation. The Dodgers wore jerseys during the national anthem, Kobe jerseys, which was great. And then also I think some type of councilman in LA or something like that is gonna rename part of Figueroa Street that the Staples Center is on to Kobe Bryant Drive or something like that. So they're gonna rename it after him, a part of that street, which is really awesome. I think it's great to see, and just showing a lot of support. I mean, even guys had great games. Luka Doncic, one of the great up and rising stars in the NBA, who was one of Kobe's favorite players, especially Gigi, who sadly went down with them. It was one of her favorite players as well. He hit a game-winning shot against the stupid Clippers, so I was very happy to see that. I know he did that for Kobe, and Donovan Mitchell, another great shooting guard as well. He went off for like 50-plus points, so that was great to see also. So a lot of great performances on his birthday, showing him a lot of great remembrance. Hopefully this guy can keep it up. And yeah, it's great. I just always thought it was weird, because I think it was last week when I got these pictures that they said the Lakers, if they make it into after the first round of the playoffs, they will wear these Black Mamba inspired jerseys. But then I heard that for tonight's game on Monday night against Portland, Game 4, they're actually going to wear those jerseys, which is, it's obvious. It's August 24th. It's 8/24. This is definitely Kobe Bryant's Day. Even Orange County is recognizing this as Kobe Bryant Day. So you had to bring out those things a lot sooner than waiting to the second round, because you never know how hot Portland was, and they could have, spoiled the Lakers' chances. So definitely happy they're bringing it out. Hopefully they can play better than when they did the first game they played after he had passed away, with who they lost to the Portland Trail Blazers, of course, when Damian Lillard went off on that game. So hopefully Lillard won't be as inspired this time around, and the Lakers get the W in those brand new sweet ass uniforms, which definitely too much for me to afford right now, but yeah, they look pretty awesome. And yeah, I was just looking at this random post on Instagram saying, because I thought about this too a while ago, that the Lakers' path just to get to the finals looks impossible, especially if certain teams went out, because they're already facing a hot Portland team. So this will be an accomplishment if they get past this team. Then the next round they have a chance to play Houston, who's been one of the hotter teams coming into this playoff bubble as well, and they just got healthier. So that was going to be a tough second round matchup. And then if they made it to Western Conference Finals, they could play the Clippers, who a lot of people deem are the number one team, especially defensively, and could upset the Lakers there, which would be tough. And then if you make it all the way to the finals, luckily you get to play the number one team in the NBA, in the Milwaukee Bucks, who's another great defensive team and has the most likely two-time MVP on their team, in Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, like I said on that post, do it for Kobe. I think that's the only motivation they need right now. That could help them go a long way, in my opinion, and hopefully they use that to their greatest advantage, and we'll see. And to end off on some miscellaneous news, so yes, the rumor mill keeps going off for Shia LaBeouf and superhero stuff, and especially X-Men characters. That some fan did a edit of a picture of him as Wolverine, which is pretty crazy, and of course that got the juices flowing up all over the internet of people wanting him to play that. I mean, it looked pretty cool. I mean, they had like bullet holes, and they had like a lot of the facial hair and some of the what do you call those? I forget what they call them, like whatever is on his freaking hands. But yeah, it looked pretty awesome. I think as far as acting wise, he could pull it off. Physically, I think it might be tough because I've never seen Shia LaBeouf put on that much muscle, but he is a freak that even for his last movie got a whole body tattooed for that, just for that role. So I think he could put on like 25 to 30 pounds in a couple months and be able to show what he can do. And you don't have to look that crazy because they'll put you in a suit that'll make you look bigger anyways for those superhero movies. So as long as he can do that, then I think it'd be a pretty awesome Wolverine, in my opinion. But yeah, it's great to see him get a lot of love right now, and yeah, I'm definitely happy for that success that's going to be coming to him right now. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye now.